All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to League Zero. I don't even know what week it is anymore. I think it's 6. We have Mortal Wombat
6.
versus Vitalize here. Yes, it is week 6. And this is going to be the interesting game because Vitalize are here.
Yeah. They are here for the first time. Not necessarily the first time. Okay. So let me lay down what has happened here, right? So, Vitalize used to go by Thought Police. A chain of events happened that ended up with a change in management within the team. And because of that, they have changed their name. They have changed pretty much all of their starting players. This is, in all intents and purposes, a new team that has also taken up Thought Police's place in the league and has also taken up their current place in the standings. This is actually a huge game for Vitalize Volcanor because if Vitalize win this, then they basically, I think, guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. That, at the very least, that 6th and final spot. That's what's on the line here if they win. If they lose, then it all comes down to final week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right because their map differential would be, if they won, would be good enough that there's no way Pepega Parrots would be able to catch them. So, honestly, a ton on the line for Vitalize, and on the other side of things, Mortal Wombat have pretty much put themselves in the playoffs at this point, sitting at 3-2 overall, but they're kind of in a bit of a logjam in the standings right now between like the 3rd and 5th seed. So the outcome of this game will do a lot in determining where they're going to end up at the end of the day. Now, as we start heading into Control Center, the usual super close range brawly comps coming out from both teams, as you can expect from this kind of map, with the Sim and the Junkrat on both sides.
All right, we're going to get in an Immortality field from Ice Inferno almost immediately to keep his team alive. We'll have to see whether that works out as both Symmetros fall. Not necessarily your big damage source in this composition. You have that Junkrat on your other DPS. Both teams now fighting over point, and Reborn is a little bit low and will get taken down by Jolt. It looks like Vitalize will pretty handily win this first fight, only losing Avalanthus.
Yeah, Jolt comes up big in that fight. They're taking out the Baptiste on the other side. You can see the difference in the Junkrats here, Volcanor. Jolt already has the Riptire for the second fight. Reborn only about 60% of the way to his. Just shows how much work that Jolt is putting in on this spam damage Junkrat, and as a former expert division player that experience seems to be paying off so far.
All right, we'll just have to wait and see when this Riptire is used, as Jolt is still on low health, able to get up to half for some of the healing. Ice Inferno having to use that Amplification Matrix to heal up his team. Jolt's Riptire finally comes through right when True Donger puts out his own Amplification Matrix, and once again, Vitalize will win this fight pretty handily. Probably will play camp with him off the map.
Once again, Jolt, very good positioning, manages to get up all the way to the top of that one little ledge of Control Center and drops the Riptire right on top of the Brawl comp. This is why Junkrat is so good, because his spam works so well with the close range nature of these comps, and unfortunately Reborn just wasn't quite in the Immortality field.
Jolt does get caught by the Gravitic Flux, but hey, guess what? He's now on the high ground because of that. Reborn's tire is out, is looking for someone, will get Avalanthus, but again, with how much Jolt has been doing, that's not necessarily your big target. And here comes a Riptire from him. He's waiting for the Immortality field to go away. Does not go away in time. Has to detonate early. But Ant will clean up the 2 kills that he was trying to get. Reborn trying to make it so that this fight isn't completely over. But with just him and the Lucio alive, it might be Matson actually coming back in with that charged up beam. Mortal Wombats will take this point back, but at 99%.
Man, it's been a tale of Junkrat so far in this Control Center matchup, but it was a Symmetra this time from Madsen that did so much work with, like you said, the charged up beam gets charged up on the double shields of the Vitalize composition and just goes in. Now, both Madsen and Avalantis will have the walls going into this one, and they're going to want to use them. As they see, they both go up.
All right, and it looks like both are being used slightly as shield, but Madsen's is a little bit off to be able to shield the rest of his team. It doesn't necessarily matter too much. Reborn, again, this tail of Junkrat's going in as Rami hits a huge shatter, and that's 5 gone. Little makes it 6.
That's the second big shatter from Romy so far. This map, first one came in the last fight, so now we see Romy really starting to come alive in this Rhine 1v1 matchup. However, Little will have the beat in this next fight to help Vitalize engage. Of course, one more good fight is all that they need to push through, but the Gravitic Flux has something to say about that.
And that tire's going to come in too. Reborn sitting on this teleporter, just waiting, unable to get anything, but the threat of it is able to hold off a little bit of Vitalize. They'll come back in, Avalantis will get killed, and the rest of them are getting lasered so low. But Ice Inferno able to heal him back up. We're going to see Sly use that sound barrier to keep his team alive, keep the stuff going. But here it is. Jolt's Riptire gets knocked. Could be the turning point. Jolt will kill Sly. Donger so high in the air and now gone. And with what is close to 90, the 99 to 99, Vitalize will get it back. And no one is able to touch.
No one's able to touch at all. Beautiful play coming up from Vitalize there. Actually, very interestingly, Avalantis was all the way on the other side of the, so if you say, like, the rest of Vitalize was playing in that little, like, side entrance to Control Center, and then you had, And then you had Mortal Wombat on the other side of that entrance trying to gatekeep them from getting in. And then you see even further away Avalantis, who was on the other side of that brawl composition. I don't even know how he got there, just trying to beam down members of Mortal Wombat from behind. It drew Romy and one other player, I don't remember who, away from the rest of the fight to deal with Avalantis, and they got him. But what ended up happening was that because the Reinhardt was away from the brawl for a minute there, Vitalize were able to just overpower them. And honestly, I don't know if it was a play from Avalantis or if it was just him going in the back line for funsies, but it ended up working out for them, and Vitalize take the first round. A beautiful start for this new team.
All right, and as we get back going into the second map shortly, 1-0 for Vitalize with what looked to be pretty handily of a win. Well, pretty handily of a round until they lost point. And that's part of what that composition does, is once you get on the point, you hold it.
Yeah, these brawl comps are very good at just staking a claim on a point and keeping that point contested. So, very, very good at that. And we're going to be seeing most of the same coming out from Mortal Wombat coming into the second round, but some switch-ups coming out from Vitalize here. We're going to be seeing the dive sort of 6-man rush comp sort of thing with the Winston Diva, Sombra Reaper. Avalanche is going to be keeping an eye on him, seeing if he can get some good value out of these hacks. Goes for Noct first.
Got him. That's a pretty good hack, actually, onto Noct with no one stopping it either. And this composition lovingly called a Shadow Dive that Vitalize are running out on Ant, having to stay back a little bit to catch some healing. But with Madsen's beam, Ant's going to have a lot of trouble doing his job of diving in and putting up that bubble, as Madsen's just going to shred through it on the Symmetra.
Yeah, like we said, like we saw, the teleporter from Madsen did a ton for this Mortal Wombat spot. for this Mortal Wombat a comp because they were able to take precedence over the point first. The pressure then fell onto Vitalize to try and push in and take that point. And it's so difficult to dive in on a point like that. And they end up falling. But Avalantis in one fight has built up the EMP, the all-important EMP in these fights. He is going to have to get past the Blizzard from Reborn and the wall from Madsen, but honestly, a huge opportunity here.
EMP hits 2. Unable to hit Sly, who has that sound barrier, will just use it to keep the rest of his team alive, and a Blizzard from Reborn, as well as that wall from Madsen, will just finish the fight right then and there.
Yeah, beautiful job there from Sly, getting out of the way of the EMP and sustaining his team through that scary time when you can't use any of your abilities. Now we see a couple more swaps coming out from Vitalize. Ice Inferno swaps onto the Ana, and Jolt's going to go on to an Echo now. A lot more pokey rather than divey coming out from this squad. But, you know, that poke has got to get value here because there's 67% and counting for Mortal Wombat.
I don't know how much value you do get out of this. It is going to be very difficult, but as I say that, Ice Inferno getting huge value out of that anti-nade. And Rami's very low, and actually it's gonna work. The only ultimate used was the sound barrier from Little, and it's almost a completely clean fight coming in from Vitalize.
Yeah, as Vitalize is looking to take the point here, 90+% here from Mortal Wombat. Great stuff from them so far. Usually one more good fight will win them this map, take us to a map 3, but they've got to take it from Vitalize first. Gotta say, the Ice Inferno Ana pick, I was skeptical of it at first, but dude's built up a nano boost already, got the opening kill in that last fight. It's paying off so far.
I was seeing nano onto Ant. That's going to help him stay alive, especially with an anti-nade in both tanks. Judon are using that wall, that amplification matrix, but it doesn't help keep him alive. And Ant just goes to town on the rest of the backline.
I mean, that's about as clean as it gets. You primal your Winston, you nano your Winston, he primal as he goes in, he just stomps all over the enemy team. Now, very interesting. We see Madsen going over to a Sombra to try and counter Avalantis, and Reborn's going to swap over to the Reaper. Mortal Wombat kind of trying to play into Vitalize's game, but with 52% and counting, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time to build up those crucial ultimates.
And part of the Shadow Dive composition is having that Winston to also dive with the Reaper and with the D.Va. Without it, I don't know how effective it's going to be. I guess you want the shields. We'll see a Moira coming out from Jolt's duplicate, already having... It gets shattered, actually, before they can use the Coalescence, but now they're nanoed, and that's going to tear through some members of Mortal Wombat. But their tank line is already gone. Remy having to self-destruct. And the point is right now held entirely by Mortal Wombat.
Yeah, this is going to come down to this fight now. 90% and counting for both teams. And Little starting to pop off here. The only original member from Thought Police that has moved over to Vitalize and is on the starting roster gets a double kill to open things up now for Vitalize. And with the kill feed glowing in, well, it's red for me, but it might be something else on stream. I don't remember. Sorry, what did you say, Akra? I didn't hear. He doesn't have colorblind, so it is in fact red, and Vitalize win their first map as a new team. Oh man, this is looking scary now if you're a fan of Pepega Parrots or capitalism. If you want any chance of making it into playoffs at this point, you are dependent on one that's being able to stop Vitalize from getting a win right here, right now. And that first map did not fill me with much confidence, Volcanor.
No, it did not. I mean, Vitalize. Yes, it was 90 to 100% both times.
Mm-hmm.
But Vitalize looked really good. Like, normally we say like a 3-0 or something doesn't tell the whole story. I think in this game, that 90 to 100 doesn't tell the whole story. It's kind of the opposite of that. Vitalize looked really good.
Oh yeah, they absolutely did, and I think there is a lot to be said about this sort of, you got this new team together, you've been scrimming together, things are feeling good, and you just go into this first game and you just completely wreck house against Mortal Wombat, a team that a lot of people respect in this league. And now you're starting to think, oh man, we could do this. We could actually make this happen. And that is scary if you're Mortal Wombat now, because there's nothing more frightening in this game than a team that is starting to get its momentum going. So super excited to see how this continues to play out here, as it looks like Mortal Wombat's going to be choosing King's Row as their next map pick.
All right, and we will see Arrow coming in from Matson as well with that change to King's Row. And this is something to remember. If you're Mortal Wombats, or if you're a fan of Mortal Wombats, this is kind of your selling point. This is kind of your encouragement here.
Yeah, Mortal Wombat.
Control? Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Control is a different game than the rest of Overwatch.
Yeah.
That's your kind of, well, we lost Control, but Control's different than everything else. So that's kind of your encouragement if you're Mortal Wombat, or if you're a fan of them. But I don't know.
I'm not sure either, but Mortal Wombat, known as a very, very good Brawl team. They played almost exclusively Brawl comps during Lijiang Tower, so obviously the King's Row pick makes total sense for this team, plays into their strengths extremely well. The issue is, can they stand up to Vitalize still? Because honestly, when they were playing pretty much the same comp on Lijiang Control Center not long ago, Vitalize came out on top, and by a decent amount. They've got to try and commit more resources to shutting down Jolt, whatever he's going to be playing, because that Junkrat did a ton of damage to them. And honestly, the support line of Ice Inferno and Little were putting in work in that first map. By the way, I want to quickly, since we got like pretty much an entirely new roster here, I want to shout out where these players all came from. Jolt, Avalantis, Ant were all free agent pickups that Vitalize made this week. Ice Inferno was someone that Vitalize picked up last week, actually, when they were still Thought Police, and has stayed on as the flex support. Remy was brought in from Capitalism through a trade, and Little, the team captain, and the only one in the starting roster that has been around since day one. Really goes to show you, when you see how quickly this team has come together, makes the first map win so much more impressive.
Exactly. And I believe I am checking something real quick. Okay. So yeah, that is perfectly right. I mean, there are only 4 people from this Vitalize team that were picked up in the draft, and the other ones, other than Little, are Dumb Sauce, Tevatron, and Archivist.
Yep.
So this is a completely new team, as we don't see any of those other 3 playing, and we will see a bit of what we normally see on King's Row.
Yeah, this is a brawl mirror. This is like how King's Row Overwatch should be played. It's going to be up close and personal between both of these teams playing the same comp, and we have a pause, so we're actually going to see that a little bit later. Actually, they say never mind. So pause strats.
We're gonna see a lot of Maywalls, and this is gonna be the big thing, is to see, okay, is your Maywall actually gonna cut everyone off, or is it going to cut part of the team off, or is it just gonna be, hey, we now have a little bit of a smaller space to fight, but we still have our whole team? As I mentioned, this first Maywall from Reborn does exactly what it is supposed to and cuts off the Reinhardt from the rest of the team. And Ant will be the second to fall.
Yeah, Aero. Oh man, I was gonna say Aero did not seem super cold coming off of the bench for Mortal Wombat, but all of a sudden Avalantis comes alive, picks off 2, and that is the go button for Vitalize, and it's looking like they might just take the first point right here and now.
I think they will. I mean, why not have the go button? You're in a essentially 6v4 at that point. Now 6v5 as Reborn has to walk all the way back. Ant's charge will take down his Reinhardt counterpart, and Avalantis will continue his spree of just tearing apart everyone on Mortal Wombats. And first point goes over pretty quickly to Vitalize.
I think Mortal Wombat bit off a little bit more than they could chew there. They had the fight win, and they decided to try and push forward a little bit, try and get a little bit of spawn camping in there, and Avalantis said, I don't think that's going to be happening today. Takes off 2 of the members of Mortal Wombat. Now look at all this space that Vitalize gets to play with. They're going to have every ultimate coming online here, except for the Blizzard, which Jolt used to confirm the first point. They have so much to work with. On the other side, they're going to have just about everything except the support ultimates, though.
Watch Avalantis on the side with the high noon. Isn't able to get a pick off with that, with the flashbang, but Aro will take the high noon on the other side, and you're gonna reset.
Beautiful set play there from Mortal Wombat, using the Diva Bomb to force Ant to turn around, to use his shield to block it, and then the Shatter comes out from Romy. The Blizzard committed from Reborn felt like a little overkill, but overall, great play from a team that has obviously been playing together and figuring this stuff out for a long time.
Hope and Ant once again caught out a little bit. Here comes Nox. Self-destruct is able to be blocked out, and Nox is not able to go back into Mech. Actually will fall before that. Little was kept alive by Ice Inferno's amplification matrix and by the immortality field. And that's a lot of ultimates used for only 1 kill on the Nox, but it's worth it to push this card up this far. And again, Ant is caught out away from the rest of his team. Team's doing a good job of breaking those ice walls early, but not doing a good job of getting them. And Sly gets shattered out of sound barrier.
Oh, that is absolutely brutal, but it seems like it's not going to matter, at least for this fight, as Mortal Wombat is going to go ahead and clean everything up. Romy just a wrecking ball of carnage.
He's got 40 health. I wonder if they can break the shield down before he gets healed up.
Nah,
no,
that
ice wall
may... Nice ice wall from Reborn. I do have to ask, though, what was Noct doing that far up? The only reason he got picked off early and opened the door for Vitalize was because he was super far up as the baby diva and got stunned probably out of the remech. Had to have been going for remech kills or something like that. Which
had to have been... Well, that remech is very powerful. Blizzard will end up killing Little as he's unable to get out of it in time. And without a Lucio to move you around the map, you're more sitting ducks than an actual Overwatch team.
Third fight in a row that gets up to just about nothing for Vitalize. A 5-minute time bank to start off this Streets phase of King's Row has now gone down to just about 2. Coming into this next fight, though, they're going to have the Blizzard from Jolt and the Bomb from Remy, as well as the Beat from Little. So it's going to be big tools to try and push things across that point A checkpoint. But a big shatter from Romy is going to open things up.
Goes under the payload, and that is again going to be a team wipe. I don't even think... Don't use any ultimates here if you're Vitalized. Just accept the fact that you've lost that fight. It only took about, what was it, like 2 minutes to lose that fight anyway?
The silver lining here... The silver lining here is that the fight ended so fast that Vitalize didn't even have a chance to use any of their ultimates. So they're going to have everything except for the Shatter coming up in this next fight. And honestly, you look at the other side, you see the Bomb, you see the Ant Matrix, which are good tools, but not nearly enough compared to the firepower that Vitalize is bringing into this next fight. This is by far their best chance to finish this checkpoint.
Especially Jolt's Blizzard, he'll have to use it without throwing it into Nox's Matrix! I couldn't even get the words out before you did it. Oh, it might end up working out, but you did not want to throw that ult away. That's so demoralizing.
Yeah, it looks like Vitalize is going to be able to finish the fight and get into this final section of King's Row. But the thing is, Jolt losing his Blizzard there forced, I think it really did force Vitalize to use more ultimates in that fight than they really wanted to. And that means with 2 minutes on the clock to finish the map, they do not have as much in the bank. They're going up against the Blizzard, the High Noon, the Beat coming up from Mortal Wombats, and it's going to be an uphill battle.
Well, here comes the Ant Matrix, but it's up against the Blizzard. No one's going to be able to take advantage of that. Jolt has switched from the Mei to the Hanzo. So we'll see if that is able to get some more damage, some more picks out. I do like the Hanzo on this point a bit more. It just seems to work. You have so many good sightlines for it to use.
I like, ooh, look at Romy here. Getting set up for a flank shatter. The question is, does Vitalize see it coming? Avalanche is going to come across the corner first. Oh no, they're not looking. They're not looking. Romy is getting set up. No one sees him and he drops it. He
only hits 2.
He got 2 after all that and he dies. Oh no.
And the Ant Matrix is invested to try to, the Ant Matrix and Sound Barrier are invested to try to keep him alive, and that bomb's going to get no one as well. This has turned into a horrible fight with Mortal Wombats.
Oh no, this is all gone so terribly wrong as now Mortal Wombats are on the back foot here. There was a kill on the Jolt who is going on to the Soldier to get back into this fight as now things get very scrappy.
Alright, Remy's going to kind of try to clean it up though. It is a 3-on-5. As we will see Reborn fall as well, but the spawns will always advantage the defense here. Although with the McCree standing back, with Arrow kind of standing back, it seems they've accepted they're not gonna be able to stall this point any longer until they get everyone.
Look at this comp though. Ants on Ball, Avalantis on Doomfist, Jolt on Soldier. These are like stall picks to get back to the point fast.
Well, you already know you're gonna finish in overtime. Oh my gosh, Aro just seals it right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, right?
5? Okay. Oh, come on, Reborn. You could have given him the 6K, come on. You
could have, but, you know, are you a real teammate if you just take away the 6K when you can?
Exactly.
I mean, you have to do it. You can't let your teammate's ego get too big. Overall, though, a very valiant effort there from Vitalize. They got caught up a bit at the end of on the end of Streets phase, but we see it happen a lot to a lot of teams in King's Row, so not too much to get upset about there. Almost got the point to the end of the map, and there are plenty of opportunities for them to try and hold Mortal Wombat to an even better score, so...
Exactly. And that will be what they try to do with this composition coming out.
Yeah, we got something interesting now coming out from Vitalize right now. We got a Soldier Hanzo, Ant's gonna be on the ball, and a Zen Baptiste, Brigitte support line. This is going to be a very slow comp. There's going to be no shields, which means everyone's going to have to play around corners a lot. And it's going to kind of rely on Jolt, Avalantis, and Ice Inferno following up onto disruptions that Ant can put onto this team. Of course, Mortal Wombat's going to stick on the Brawl. This is a gamble coming out from Vitalize here. Let's see if it pays off.
It very much is. You want to definitely try to hold them and stall this point as much as you can with this composition. This is not a composition I've seen here anywhere but Quick Play. So we're going to be very interested in seeing how it works, as so far it looks pretty decent. But right now we're just... Oh, Sly gets slammed on by Ant, and even though Ant is frozen, that high mobility of a Wrecking Ball will just get him out of danger real quickly. And without Sly, and without a good way for Sly to get back to his team, this will be a bit more difficult.
Yeah, now
Sly's
look
being
at
kept out.
Sly's being camped now. It's being pretty much spawn camped. This Brawl comp is at the high ground here, stranded without their Lucio. They can't speed boost to him. Sly goes down again, and it's going to force action from Mortal Wombat now.
Alright, we've got the Amplification Matrix coming out from Donger, and it's not going to be doing too much as Ant slammed into the middle of the team to disrupt that whole setup. Worked really well. We will see Avalantis going down, and a lot of members on the side of Vitalize are low. Those offensive spawn advantages will come in handy here. But again, you still have the Soldier up there, so he's going to be able to heal himself back up. You still have the Brig. You still have the Wrecking Ball. You no longer have any of those. You do have the Dragons.
See, I don't really get why Mortal Wombat did this whole like super intricate rotate up through the garage and up to the high ground kind of thing. When the second that they just decided, screw it, we're just going to go onto the point, they end up coming out on top because that's what their comp is good at, especially without a Lucio. So you should really just be trying to play to your comp strengths, it feels like. But Mortal Wombat, now they have the point unlocked, and it only took them a little bit more time than it took Vitalize up to this point. They have quite the ult bank to be proud of here. Everything except for Sly, who unfortunately has spent a lot of time in spawn so far this map. But everyone but him is going to have their ultimates coming up in this next fight.
Joel went back to chunk. Oh, here's a minefield coming down on top of the entire team. That's going to make this a hecking hard time for them to move around this point. But a lot of it seems to have gotten caught up in the architecture of King's Row. And with Ant and Ice Inferno both falling, the point is won with 2 ultimates from Mortal Wombats.
Yeah, and when you can't get any value off of the engagement from Ant, it seems like the Brawl comp of Mortal Wombat just kind of wins. Look at how far away the entirety of Vitalize has to play right now because they are scared of getting speed boosted and aggressed upon by the rest of the team. Ant now swaps over to Winston, so we're going to be seeing some, at least a little A shield coming out from this team. But they still got to play into both DPS ults, the Beat and the Shatter. I mean, this ult bank has sustained from Mortal Wombat since they took the first capture point.
Alright, so Little used the rally actually during that last fight as well. Oh, purple onto 2. Will it be what you need? Aros has Deadeye, doesn't get anyone. And here's Remy? Remy's bomb does not get the thrusters, I think, activated in time. And is basically useless. Jolt's tire. Get in one of the support. But without Ant, you don't have your shield. Blizzard is huge, and Ant switches right back over to the Wrecking Ball. I think they'll finish here. They got 4 minutes to move it 4 meters.
Yeah, they just got to deal with Ant spinning to winning on the point. Oh no! Romy completely boggles the charge there, ends up going off the map, and now things start falling apart for Mortal Wombat. The Ant Matrix invested to try and salvage anything out of this fight, but the Doomfist from Avalantis, yes, it takes out Triodonger. That's the 2 potentially most important members of Mortal Wombats down. You don't have that main heals right now. It's going to take a lot to push things across now. The bomb may do it, though.
Ant down.
Ant is down now.
Oh. There's a hack onto Jolt as well, and that's going to probably seal the deal. We'll see whatever stall can come out, but you're not stalling to get less time. You're stalling to win. This is a win-or-lose scenario. And a beat coming out from Sly will basically seal it there as, oh my gosh, that boop.
The boop from Sly is enough to finish it off. It looks scary there near the end, but Mortal Wombats does what they need to do on King's Row to bring us to a 1-1 tie going into the halftime.
And that 1-1 tie will be, well, the story of 2 different maps as Aro in the play of the game. barely able to keep himself alive as well.
Yeah, I mean, Mortal Wombat, they know this map. They love this map. They love playing this comp as well. In the end, it is no surprise at all that they are able to come out on top. But once again, Vitalize put up a pretty decent fight. Honestly, they had this experimental ball diva comp they were trying to make work. It didn't work that well, honestly. Their ball diva comp depended completely on them being able to follow up on Ant, grappling through the team or pile driving on top of them. And it worked one time. It worked one time at the very beginning of the map where they picked off Sly. It never worked again.
No, it looked like it had a chance at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I do think it's kind of, after you lost that first point, wholesale changes unless you have ultimates. And we even saw Jolt throw, or no, it was Avalantis throw the Dragon Strike into the point as a last ditch effort, and then stay on the Hanzo.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Vitalize had a plan going into that map, and then when it started to fall apart, the plan did as well. But they did still get that first point on Lijiang Tower, so it is 1-1 going into the halftime. Will Mortal Wombat be able to differentiate themselves from the middle of the pack in League 0, or will it be Vitalize securing themselves a spot in our end-of-season playoffs? Stay tuned, because the second half of the series is coming out right after this break.
Yep. All right, and we are back. We are here at Route 66, chosen again by Vitalize. So I wonder if we'll see more of just crazy compositions out of Vitalize on Route 66, because you can kind of run a lot on the first point.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can get away with on Route 66 that you couldn't get away with as much on King's Row. If they want to be a wrecking ball sort of team, you know, maybe King's Row isn't the best place to go for that. We are seeing the old tried and true coming out from Mortal Wombat, though. Seems like this Brawl comp is going to be what they're going to run, win or lose, until the very end.
Oh my gosh, don't spectate Jolt.
I don't even want to know. I can't comment on the I can't comment, not Thought Police, not anymore, the Vitalize comp so far, because they're probably going to change it, but here we go. This is why you play this comp on Route 66, so that you can do this close hold on train. Try and just keep Vitalize in their spawn for as long as possible.
They know it, though. Avalantis immediately checks the train with Jolt as backup. So they were expecting this. And with True already down to Immortality Field health and purpled, he might fall, he will fall, but the rest of his team able to kind of get back to where they need to be.
Yeah, beautiful play there from Mortal Wombat. When it comes to an up-close fight, their comp is just straight up better. And they force it close-up fight, and they win. I
was about to say, the issue is now you don't have your support here. You only have the Lucio heals and the Mei Ice Block for the side of Mortal Wombat, so you're going to have a lot of danger, and Reborn and RO fall early, and without any DPS, I don't think you're going to have anything left to do. Ant gets resurrected, and Jolt is having some fun on the Genji.
Yep, so wastes about a minute of time for Vitalize, so definitely a pretty decent close hold performance coming out from Mortal Wombat, but now we see Noct is going to swap onto the Wrecking Ball here, try and play a little bit of disruption of his own. But they're playing into a lot here. Ant has the mines up already, and we're also going to be seeing Avalantis with the Pharah, with the Barrage. Jolt's going to have the Blade coming up soon. And we gotta be taking a look at Ice Inferno here. Only about 2/3 of the nano boost, but who's it gonna give that to?
Well, it's not gonna be Jolt right now. He's dead. Just completely gets taken out by Aro, who once again trying to put his team on his back. Avalantis has that barrage. That minefield's coming out. This might be a perfect chance to use the barrage, but the immortality is field, so it looks like Avo might think better of it. Ant's minefield getting work done though. Takes down 2, and actually Avo's just gonna say, you know what? I don't even need to use the barrage here.
Not needed at all. Romy's gonna take Ant for a ride. Gets the morale kill, but it's gonna get rezzed up right away by a little. And oh boy, now things are looking scary because Mortal Wombat is now forced onto point B, where Brawl becomes a lot less viable with the long sight lines and the high grounds that can be taken advantage of. The Nano Blade or Nano Barrage is going to be up. The Valkyrie's going to be there too, which is more damage boost. This could be trouble.
And was slept on the side.
Caught out.
Excellent sleep dart from Donger to kind of push this out. And a 2-person shatter gets both Jolt and Little. They'll be the first to the fall. Avalantis, without any mercy to support him, will go next. And Ice Inferno is just icing on the cake.
This is an interesting comp coming out from Mortal Wombat now, because they have swapped to a sort of slower poke-based composition now. There's no Lucio. They have Ana and Brig now.
Does no one notice Noct?
Does no one notice Noct?
No one notices Noct. He's just going to bowl through the team. Oh, well, now he's dead. No?
Gets away. That's insane.
Avalantis gets killed in that entire thing, and then Little is just sitting duck for the Deadeye. So
Yeah.
Rami's just gonna keep sitting on payload.
That's crazy that no one noticed knocked there. That's insane.
Does he do it again?
There's
Where is
no
he?
way, right? No.
No.
But
Where is
Romi's
he?
kind of stranded out on his own. On
is
his own
too.
on the cart. Yeah, and now we see Vitalize has seen it. And they're gonna try and go in
Reborn
on it.
slept! Reborn was nano, but slept, so has to recall out of that position. A bit of a waste of nano, but when you wipe the whole team, it's not as much of a waste as you would probably like it to be.
Avalantis has got to be swapping, right? Because,
Yeah.
okay, because he used the Barrage at the end there. Gonna go ahead and swap to a McCree, try and get rid of Reborn on this Tracer, which has been causing so many issues.
Oh my
This
god.
is the third fight in a row where there's been a clear ultimate advantage for Vitalize, but they've just died too fast to take advantage of it.
Here it is, Nano Blade. We're gonna see he take out 2, so Jolt's doing work. Jolt takes out 3. Is he gonna get the 4th? Not yet. Maybe will, but not yet, and that's a fight win. Even though Romi's still sitting on the payload.
Yeah, the payload just now starting to move because Romi's one goal throughout that entire like 3 minutes has been to sit on the payload and make sure that there was no movement. And because of that, now it's going to be at least one more fight, maybe 2, before Vitalize can finish this checkpoint with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Shout out to Jolt, though. The Jolt Genji, stuff of legends.
Exactly. Now we're gonna have to see if Nox can once again get something done on this Wrecking Ball. Shields up, dead early. That's not what you want to see. Jolt is getting closer and closer to that blade again. Oh my gosh, dashes through about 4 of them, and Remy's bomb during that entire distraction by Jolt. Remy just goes to town.
Triple kill coming in from Remy now, and it's looking like with 45 seconds left on the clock, Vitalize is going to be able to push through to the final stage of Route 66. This stage, though, a lot more closed in. There aren't very many ceilings. There are, the hallways are a lot narrower, which means that the Wrecking Ball from Ant is going to have trouble.
Yeah, Ice got stuck.
Yeah, that
Tracer
sucks.
did that signatured. I blink in with all 3 blinks and then recall, and just Ice is dead. Oh, that'll stall out a good 30 seconds.
Yep, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get Ice Inferno back, but when they do, he's going to be coming up on that Nano Boost once again, and and Jolt has the Blade. The Nano Blade got 3 last time. What can we see this
sitting
time
in the back
around?
line. They're waiting for this. Jolt is sitting in the back line, gets stunned. Donger will actually be the first to fall as the Nano goes on to Rami, and he's without support, so that will only help him stay alive a little bit longer. He takes down Avalantis with that damage boost, and finally gets back to his team in order to heal. Just another good stall coming out from the side of Mortal Wombats.
Yeah, now we got a minute left on the clock, and oh man, the shadow from Romy may be a little bit unnecessary, but it just forces this next fight to take a little bit longer. And honestly, with 45 seconds left, this is the last good fight that Vitalize is going to have to put more distance on this payload. They have the Nano Boost and the Nano Blade, and honestly, Mortal Wombat doesn't have too much to counter.
There it is.
Though.
Oh, Sly is gone. Arrow's gone. Avalantis taking down Reborn on the side. One of the only people who can stop this Nano Blade, and it's over. That fight's just over. Jolt going a little bit too far into the enemy's base.
The Nano Blade gets the job done, but the problem is you're not going to get another one of those, and you've got to win another fight.
I thought so. Joel actually did that on purpose. He died to change characters. Joel fed the change characters, so he'll be coming back on the Junkrat. Avalantis getting close to this Deadeye, and with the bomb from Remy as well, this could be an excellent combo, but not when Avalantis is dead from the minefield. Noct puts out 3 members of Mortal Wombats of purple. Sly is one of them. Bomb does nothing. Here comes Ant's minefield into a corner. It's going to do a good job of kind of sectioning off this point, but with no one left on his team alive, it's not going to keep this point moving.
Ice Inferno tried his best there, antied multiple members a bunch of times in that last fight, but unfortunately there was just no follow-up coming through from Vitalize. So just like in King's Row, come up just short of the end of the map, but that doesn't mean it's over. There are plenty of opportunities now for them to try and push through and go up to match point here. But, of course, Mortal Wombat, the victory, the golden box of victory has been set at 2 points and 67.85 meters. So this next attack from Mortal Wombat is going to be crucial as the hero selections come in. And ooh, look at this. Mortal Wombat straying away from that signature brawl here. As long as they stick on to this, of course, we're seeing a bit more of a dive coming out.
I very highly doubt Aro is going to stay on this Widowmaker. Maybe just try to get a quick pick, especially if there's a Pharah in the sky, but we're not going to see that Pharah, so Aro will likely change. But again, this is still a move away from that standard dive as Reborn's, as that standard brawl that they've been playing, as Reborn just moved over to the Tracer.
I mean, honestly, if Aro does stay on the Widow, it's not a bad pick. The other team doesn't really have any snipers. The only thing that Aro is really going to have to worry about is Ice Inferno. But no, he's going to swap over onto the McCree, so
we will see almost a mirror. We'll see the Ana instead of the Zen on the side of Mortal Wombats, and the Winston instead of the Ball on the side of Mortal Wombats as well.
Yes,
and said, here we go, poke damage coming in. Remy's low, Remy's purpled, can't get healing. We'll get D-Mech, and Avalanthus will get killed early. Mortal Wombats, that's all you really wanted.
Perfectly executed dive coming up from Mortal Wombats to start off this attack. And this is the thing that's coming out from Vitalize right now. I just feel like they're playing super passively while they wait for Ant to get an engagement that they can sort of they can follow up on. But Rumi, oh no.
Here comes Ant's engagement. Rumi gets caught out a little bit too far behind enemy lines, and Jolt will be able to take him down, and Ant will be able to slam on the payload right when that happens. Aro going down next, getting caught in the air, and that gives the Zenyatta a perfect chance to get pot shots off.
Yeah, I think Rumi went a little bit too aggressive there. Just tried to jump into Vitalize. Didn't think they had very many members left. A lot more than he thought. So ends up going down and opening up the door for Vitalize to hold on to first point for now. However, going into this next fight, we're going to be seeing just about every ultimate coming up for Mortal Wombat. On the other side, also, we'll have a lot coming up. But Avalanthus loses the Tracer duel. Here we go.
And keep in mind, Remy's still not in mech. Jolt's going to use High Noon to try to give the rest of his team some space. It will do just that. And it will actually end up burning out the nano boost that was given to Rami. And once again tries to go in with a good engage. And Reborn gets a stick onto Jolt with no shielding there to protect him. And a 3-man stun? What happened there? I don't know how that happened.
Flashbang probably?
Aro was dead. Okay, well, Mortal Wombats will win, but somehow Remy, Ice Inferno, and Little all get stunned at the exact same time. It might have been the flashbang, but onto all three at the same time? Okay. Might have been the shield bash.
As now these first point doors unlock for Mortal Wombat. 3 minutes and 45 seconds. A little bit worse than Vitalize up to this point, but still definitely respectable as we start moving forward. They're going to have the High Noon from Arrow, and now Little's going to use that rally to try and fortify his team.
Yep, an early rally to help give his team the armor before they engage in the fight, and it works almost perfectly. Knocked so low and forced to back off and now stand with the rest of the team and hide away. The positions have kind of swapped. Arrow, High Noon, unable to get anyone with that, as Ice Inferno's Transcendence will just keep the rest of his team alive. Remy gets a remech kill on the slide, but might not be in the mech for long. with a Primal Rinston in their backline. Romy trying to do what he can to just mess around on this point. Remy walks into the Pulse Bomb. And Mortal Wombats will win this fight. They'll keep the payload moving.
Yeah,
but Ant will be able to stall out. Ant and Reborn are going to be able to stall out time a little bit long, and they might even get knocked out of mech.
This Tracer from Reborn is doing so much work here, Volcanor. He is constantly just blinking around the mass of Vitalize players and just poking and doing so much damage and getting the kills when he needs to, but for the most part, what he's doing is just distracting them, and they can't quite get a handle on this incredible Tracer play right now. Oh, wow, what a sleep! Jolt is out for the count.
And Reborn goes in to try to kind of clean up that kill. It won't be Reborn exactly cleaning it up, but it will be Nox self-destruct. Minefield coming out on cart to try to stall out this push a little bit, but it does not cover enough of the cart to stop Rami from moving it. Avalantis trying to be the better Tracer here, unable to do so, will fall at a knocked. Remy out of mech, knocked out of mech as well. Aro falls to Joel as he comes back. But it's just all going in the favor of Mortal Wombats as they don't notice Ant is still here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of squishy members of Mortal Wombats are alive still, so I don't know if you could put together something crazy. But I do kind of doubt it. Avalantis is just here on stall duty. Oh no, they're gonna keep stalling. Oh no, this is not good. Little commits the rally, thinking that he could get there in time, but it doesn't. Now they don't have the rally for this next fight. And Vitalize are in shambles right now.
Remy's gonna get demech. They actually kill her, which I do think is a bit of a wrong move. So, the Avalantis doing such a good job on stalling that point out that he kind of baits his team.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, 2 minutes and 18 seconds left for Mortal Wombat to try and finish out this map. The big ante comes out, and Romy will take advantage. Little down, Ice Infernal's going to use the trans to try and sustain his team through the rest of this.
Romy was nanoed in order to get that primal, but now it's a Discord Orb on him. Barely gets out with his life as Reborn will take the Discord Orb instead. That is a good target for the Discord. That bomb lands on the platform. Lands on the moving platform and probably could have gotten some kills if it didn't, but Joel and Little are doing what they can to bring their team back into this, and with Nox coming out of mech, he will not be able to remech. Just walking into the landmines as it ends. Vitalize are gonna hold strong here.
The spawn advantage is firmly in favor of Vitalize now. We need to see a convincing fight win for Mortal Wombat for them to be able to push this cart across the finish line and go up 2-1 in the series here. They have the High Noon from Arrow, and they'll probably have the rally from Sly later on in this next fight, but that's really all they have. And with about a minute left on the clock, this is probably their last really good chance to finish this out.
Arrow's High Noon will be the thing to watch out for from the side of Mortal Wombats here. And Jolt's perfect aim will be what to look out for on the side of Vitalize. They'll use it right now. Jolt, he's getting tons of damage in. Arrow and Reborn both getting hit quite a bit, but unable to find any picks. Rally coming out from Sly as Avo's pulse gets eaten, and that is the last thing you want to see. There's Arrow's Deadeye. Ant is just hiding, getting ready to stall this cart. Unable to even touch it before he dies. We'll see. Likely the Tracer? No. No one from Vitalize is able to come back in time, and Mortal Wombat go up 2-1.
It's so close. It's so close for Vitalize, even closer than King's Row was, but in the end, things fall apart in the last moment, and Mortal Wombat will put themselves up into match point here. Man, it just seems like in the end, the overall synergy that comes with Mortal Wombat, that a team that's been playing together for months now, that is what came through for them at the very end.
Exactly. And, I mean, 20 seconds is what separated this from being capped in overtime, though.
Yeah.
So, Vitalize nothing to scoff at there. And those Jolt Nano Blades, I mean, 3Ks every time, going up against a Brig, going up against a McCree. Two things that can extremely easily shut down this blade. Still getting 3Ks.
Yeah, I mean, Jolt absolutely putting in the work that he needed to on that Genji. You know, the Blade Bot, as he is called sometimes as well. But Vitalize absolutely do the work that they need to do. It just falls apart at the very end. You know, Mortal Wombat, they are a tough team to have your first game as a real team up against because they just are so synergized. They understand their win conditions, they understand how to get there, and they work together extremely well to do that. They're a marsupial gaming team, so what else would you expect?
Exactly. This Mortal Wombat team has looked pretty amazing in this match. After you take care of the control, they have been on point. And we will be going to Temple of Anubis next.
Yeah, Temple of Anubis coming up next, which means Mortal Wombat, once again, just like in Route 66, is going to have to get themselves off that Brawl comp, at least on first point. You can make it work on second. But first point, usually see a lot of very stationary double shield comps on defense and very mobile divey comps on offense. I will say, if you really wanted to make a Brawl work and you can kind of get it through transition, it's possible. It's very difficult. So overall, considering all of the comps that Vitalize have thrown at Mortal Wombat so far, it's going to be a handful. It's going to be a handful for Mortal Wombat to try and close out the series here. But of course, if they can and keep it from going to another control map, that would be ideal.
Exactly. And as you said, Temple of Anubis will be the pick. You can definitely, I mean, this Brawl is what Mortal Wombats have been running, and I wonder if this is what Vitalize has decided is this is the way to get Mortal Wombat off of the Brawl.
Maybe. I mean, this is a Vitalized map pick, so they're definitely, right, I think, trying to keep Mortal Wombat from playing their most comfortable comp.
Right. So as we get ready to go in here, it does not look like we will have any actual substitutions for either team.
Yeah, not quite yet. Not quite yet, as teams currently getting ready to head into our fourth map. So yeah. No substitutions coming through. Of course, to lay down the stakes here once again, for those of you just joining us, Vitalize can secure themselves a top 6 spot and therefore a spot in our playoffs if they can pull out the win here. Mortal Wombat will put themselves in a much better, more favorable position by winning. At the very least, I think they'll secure top 4 if they win this. Don't know for sure. I haven't looked at the standings that hard. I don't know the math, so don't quote me on that too hard.
That sounds about right. And we will see Mortal Wombats actually take defense first. And it looks like everyone is pretty much ready.
Yeah, we should be heading into it momentarily. Volcanor, from what you have been seeing so far, who on the side of Vitalize do you think has been like the real carry? Who's been putting in the most work on Vitalize so far?
I might be a little biased here, but I'm going to say Little. I mean, literally has been the only member of Thought Police to come onto this Vitalize team and continue playing on the starting roster. And it shows why. He's shown why this entire game with excellent play on not only the Lucio, but even the Mercy when he was pocketing Avalantis earlier on Route 66. It just, I think Little just has that little bit more. Pun not intended.
No, you should intentionally do that. Absolutely. You gotta play into those puns when you make them, man. All right.
Intend your puns, you coward. Ooh.
This is an interesting scenario because there has been a bit of an issue with a member of Vitalize, so we're gonna try and figure that out real quick. Someone's a little bit afk.
All right. So, and I think Reborn is kind of trolling a little bit, but everyone wants Acri to play. Can we allow is that allowed dividing? Can we allow Acri to play as a ringer?
That would be very difficult from a production perspective. Yeah, you can't.
We have a little bit of time. I think we have like a minute left for these teams to figure this out. So we're looking, Vitalize might have to bring Hypnotos in, which will be a wrench in their plans, to say the least. And
yeah, Ice Inferno has been a big help for this team so far. Has been putting in work on that flex support position, but unfortunately, something happened. Is gone. So we're going to be seeing the manager ring come out from Hypnotos, and now the things are looking weird because both Hypnotos and Little, I believe, are main support mains, and we are going to be in an interesting situation here.
I do want to figure out if this is a Little. I know they might be able to play a bit more than just.
I mean, I'm sure, I think Little can, but it's definitely a main support main, so one of them's going to have to shift over.
Right.
Hey, Acri, can stream hear you, Acri?
No.
Okay. Acri says Lucio Brig easy, which you might mock, but that might be what you end up doing in this situation. No, Hypni is going to go on the Brig, and Little is going to shift over onto the Ana if this comp holds, which we are not fully sure if it will. But coming out from the other side, this is going to be a lot to play into. The double shield, the Junkrat, the Ash, so much spam, such a sturdy comp to try and break through. It's going to be rough.
With the window that Donger will be able to get out, that Junkrat spam is going to be so much more annoying.
It's going to be a lot.
One-shot headshot through that window.
On the other side, looks like we're going with Combo Fever coming out from Vitalize. We see the Nano Blade combo coming out from Jolt Little, and the For Mercy from Avalantis and Hypnotos is trying to supercharge those DPS players to get the value.
I mean, and if you have to pull in a ringer, this is probably what your best option here is to just supercharge your other players who are playing their roles. So we'll see how it works out for them as Ant
got trapped.
Immediately taken down with that trap, and Jolt is just gone with a mine.
Ant has to swap. I just don't see how the Wrecking Ball gets any value when this is what happens every time you jump in. Drops to the Winston, which is a little bit better, but still not super great, honestly. Oh no, the Orisa takes down Avalantis. That is not what you want to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Sigma here, just to be able to give all of your players a bit more support with that shield, because Avalantis is kind of just getting wrecked a little bit up here.
Yeah,
Avalantis
does get Aro, and this has got to be the time now. Avalantis, oh yeah. My.
That may have been the go button.
Yeah, the Pharah takes down the Ashe, and after that, there's absolutely nothing stopping him from just destroying the entirety of the Mortal Wombat defense. So respectable first point attack coming out, and they're going to have some ultimates coming up too. Little has the Nano Boost ready. Avalantis has the Barrage. That's a potential combo there. There's no D.Va on the other side to eat it up. But we are going to be looking at a Tire from Reborn coming up soon, which could put a lot of dents into those plans.
So we do see a Mercy Slack switches over to the Mercy in order to damage boost this Ashe, which works very well. This means Ashe can one-shot, headshot, anything, basically, as almost takes down Jolt, but Avalantis is there to support his DPS partner, and we'll see Hypnotoss using this Valkyrie to bring his team onto point. Justice raining from above, it does so much damage, including taking down the Immortality field, and with Jolt using the blade, no, not using the blade, using the dash to take down the Reinhardt. It's just Bob and the Mercy on the point.
Aw, man, they're gonna pull it out, though.
Aro.
They don't even get anything. Oh, man, Avalantis couldn't do more in that situation. That is so terrible. There were just enough ultimates for available for Mortal Wombat to get a pick, stall the point out a little bit longer, and the attack, unfortunately, the attack from Vitalize was powerful, but they just couldn't stick on the point for very long. So the 2CP moment comes through, and absolutely nothing is gained for killing pretty much the whole team. Oh, but Avalantis, he does it again! True Donger down, losing the Baptiste at this point is so bad. Again,
if you have to use a ringer, support your players who are on their respective roles. Avalantis just getting tons of damage boosting from this Mercy is continually able to take down players, including Aro after he died. Very much after he died.
Sly comes up clutch with the Resurrect coming through just as Ant was trying to jump in. So True Donger ends up being able to support his team and that's another failed attack coming through from Vitalize. And now we are in a situation where they really don't have much to work with. We're just going to need to see some really good individual play to try and break through this Ryan Orisa composition.
Ooh, Aro takes a big rocket to the face. It's going to be able to get healed up from that. But Donger has to use the window and has to use Immortality and has to use so much to stay alive. Able to, though, and with Avalantis, that kind of first pick hero going down, it's going to be what looks like a loss of this push for Vitalize.
Yeah, now they're just kind of getting hung up onto the, hung up in this thing right now. But Romy goes down, so this is now an opportunity.
Right, Noct was slept, so Romy had to do all the shielding on their own. With a Bob out though, and with the Dragons from Reborn kind of splitting that middle, it looks like again Aro and Sly. Oh my gosh, Sly are going.
Sly's going in.
Aro going to be able to, and Sly going to be able to hold on to this point even longer.
Seems like every time things are getting a little bit iffy for Mortal Wombat, Aro is ready with the Bob. And the thing is that Bob stays on point and contests it continuously for 10 seconds. There isn't quite enough damage on the side of Vitalize to deal with it, nor is there enough stability in their comp to be able to just stay on the point for long enough until he's gone. So it's just such a terrible situation. It's a powerful but fragile comp they're running right now, and you can't be running a comp like that when you're going into second point.
Noct. He's just sitting here waiting. They haven't spotted him out yet. And
gets nothing. Gets absolutely nothing.
And that might be the opening that Vitalize need, as Avalantis will get a kill as well. Aura was the only one alive, wasn't able to get Bob out in time. On comes back up, and actually, they'll get a tick.
They do get one tick. Almost gets a second. Knocks charges
And
back
knocks
in. Yeah. Oh, man. The Nano Cowboy. This is interesting now.
And Doomfist coming out from Reborn. Bob is now on the point, so that win condition is there, but the bomb will take so much damage on the bomb. In fact, Donger Immortality feels the bomb. After that bomb comes out. I don't know if you wanted to use that on a bomb that had so little time left. And with Avalantis and Jolt back here on Stall Heroes, it's looking like Vitalize are just trying to hold on for what they can, but it's working so far.
Yeah, the thing is the 2 CP effect is coming in. There's a couple of staggers coming through for Mortal Wombat, which means that the longer this goes on, the better it becomes for them. Vitalize has to finish this out so fast in order to finish out this map, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Hypnotoss and Little are down. There's no supports now for Vitalize.
And is in Primal, so he will be able to stay on the point that much longer, be able to stall that much longer. Avalantis again going down. And with Ant gone, that's just going to be Stall City. But 73% on 2 CP, not bad.
Once again, Volcanor, just like Kings Row, just like Route 66, they're stopped just short from completing the map. That's kind of brutal. But, you know, just like the other two, they've left themselves plenty of opportunity to try and push through, to try and have a successful defense. And they've got to have it here, Volcanor, because if they can't, Mortal Wombat will be walking away with the win, and Vitalize will be walking away with their playoff chances in jeopardy. Very dependent on a win versus capitalism next week. But you'd really love to get it done now if you can.
Exactly. Hold your fate in your own hands. Just so much better. Bob MVP that last point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every time Bob was used, he just went into the same corner of the point. No one ever did anything about him. And he just got free value on everyone who was trying to spawn camp the other team in the opposite spawn. At some point, you just got to realize, okay, this Bob is causing us too much trouble. We've got to focus him down when we do it. Because honestly, when 6 people look at Bob at the same time and shoot at him, it doesn't take too long to take him out.
And they did attempt to do that as the self-destruct was used to try to take out Bob. But again, we've got a very interesting composition coming out from Vitalize.
I mean, this is pretty normal coming out. The double shield, the Junkrat. The only really weird thing here is the soldier from Jolt. He's played it a lot today. I think he very much believes in that damage buff that soldier got recently in order to really get him that value over maybe a McCree.
All right, we'll actually see Noct coming out on the Wrecking Ball instead of Ant this time. A little bit of a role reversal. Jolt is burning, but Avalantis will get the first kill onto Donger. Aro once again trying to put this team on his back at the end here. Getting the first kill onto Avalantis. And with Rami being able to push through this doorway, the rest of Vitalize is going to have to fight on point, but 3 of them are purpled, including both tanks. Hypnotoss and Little are going to have such a difficult time trying to heal everyone back up here. Little is burning as well, and they're able to do it. I think part of it was help from Jolt possibly as well with that soldier healing.
Yeah.
Arlo again! And Bob is doing something.
Bob is, in fact, going to be doing quite a bit, forcing Vitalize into this corner. It's now just the Junkrat alive. His purple goes down, and oh boy, now we have to be looking at the point B defense of a lifetime. 5 minutes and 21 seconds. That is how long that Vitalize has to hold here to survive to a map 5.
And they have to hold 73%, not even the whole point. So that is just more pressure put onto them. As we'll see Aro The damage boost onto Aro. This is going to be huge if they can get a quick pick onto one of these squishier characters like the DPS or supports.
Yes, as now, the good part about this is now Mortal Wombats are playing a much slower comp,
Oh my
which
gosh.
gives Vitalize the chance to gain their surroundings.
Ant got headshot by Aro. That's what caused him to go so low so fast. But Jolt is able to take down that DPS before he falls. Reborn once again on this Tracer that we have complimented him on so much. Able to try to bring stuff back. But that Riptire from Avalantis going to seal the deal. And points for 1 more minute will be held.
Yeah, but you see the pressure that Mortal Wombats is putting on Vitalize right now. They use almost every single ultimate they have in their bank to hold on to that. Some of them weren't necessary. They just panicked and used it because they thought if they didn't, then that would be it. All they have now is Ant's Supercharger to try and hold off another attack. Honestly, there isn't anything that's going to be coming up from Mortal Wombat, but that doesn't necessarily mean much if Arrow can pick off the head of a support again, or Reborn could get into the back. Things are still scary.
Arrow is terrified now, though, of this Doomfist and has every reason to be, but not when he gets a shot onto him. Avalantis is now the one trying to hold his team together, though, and I think he will be able to with those 3 picks, especially with that last one onto Arrow.
Yeah, now things are getting a little bit better here for Vitalize. They're able to use the Supercharger very effectively. Avalantis down, though. Will Mortal Wombat try and take advantage of this? It looks like they will. Reborn swapped onto the Echo Mercy, and with no McCree on the other side, he has pretty much full reign of the skies.
There is a McCree. Avalantis switched back to it after that Junkrat, so he will have that possibility. Or you can just let your Doomfist kill the Echo. Somehow. Because that happened.
Triodonger is getting caught out a lot now on this Ana, and I would be considering a swap to a hero that's a little more tanky, a little more able to take care of themselves. You've got a Mercy as the other support duo, so there's no one really to peel for you if someone goes after you. And Ana, very powerful character, but very fragile. Has the nano boost this time, though. Jolt gets
way
away.
Far into the enemy lines, gets away with about 50 health remaining. That was scary, but
4 ultimates coming up.
Scarier for
4 ultimates coming up from Mortal Wombats coming into this fight. 5 if Reborn gets a lot of damage done. This is a very good opportunity, but there's 5 ultimates coming up from Vitalize.
Right, we're gonna have to see this Gravitic Flux. Probably gonna be what to watch. It's going through. It gets 3, including the enemy Sigma, but that Immortality Field will do a lot to keep him alive. Noct goes in and knocks 2. Sly goes down, so both supports from the side of Mortal Wombats are dead, but is that enough? Is what they've gotten already enough?
I don't know.
Reborn, I don't think it is. Noct's dead.
It's not going to do it.
It's not.
It is not enough, even with the heroics coming out from Noct, just rolling into the critically wounded Vitalize team. It's not enough, and they're able to keep most of their ultimates online. They're going to have the Gravitic Flux, they're going to have the Supercharger and the High Noon, possibly the Meteor Strike from Jolt as well. This is now looking very good while we go into this likely last fight here. Look at
how
so far
they
up.
Don't see him. He saw them, but they didn't see him, so he's able to get away with a bit of stuff.
Oh my god!
Shield! Reborn's copied the Doomfist, unable to use the Meteor Strike before dying. Aro rightfully question marks the chat. He had 3 people looking straight at him and nothing happened. 3 people looking straight at Avalantis and nothing happened. As Avalantis and Jolt, the saving plays to keep their teams alive. 30 seconds left on the clock. You had a 5-minute time bank.
Over 5 minutes. It was like 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and now this is gonna be it. You have the Nano Boost coming in from Triodonger, so that could be good. Maybe put it on Reborn as he engages here. But you're also probably going to have Arrow's High Noon. But you're going to be playing into the Meteor Strike, the High Noon, the Gravitic Flux as well. You don't have an Immortality Field to deal with it. It gets 3.
Gravitic Flux plus High Noon combo.
Triodonger, there's no Nano Boost.
Kill Donger. That's the nano boost gone, and that was what you needed. The minefield will come out, but so much of it will be cleared by the Signa. It just spaces Avo out away from the rest of his team. High noon from Aro, unable to get anything. Rami's Gravitic Flux is a last-ditch effort. It will get two, including Avo, who walked into the mines on his own volition, but it might not be enough. Vitalize win Temple of Anubis, and we go to map 5.
Map 5, and what an incredible hold coming out from Vitalize on point B. No matter what Mortal Wombat threw at him, they held strong with the ringer, by the way. Hypnotos doing an incredible job on that support. And they bring us up to map 5. That's crazy.
All right, and here's where a couple of the question marks come in. Is Ice Inferno back? Because this would be a second map with a ringer. So the question is Ice Inferno back? So we'll have to wait to see about that. We are going to Busan.
We are not necessarily going back to Busan.
Going to Busan. It just
if they choose Busan, they can go to Busan. But I think it's Busan. I think it's Busan, Nepal, or
Lijiang. But we've done Lijiang.
We've already done Lijiang. Yeah. So, it's just a control map that they have not played yet, and Mortal Wombat, of course, has the pick as the losers of that last map. Ice Inferno has been swapped back in, which does suggest that he is in fact back. We're going to be seeing the full strength Vitalize roster coming up into this decisive map 5.
But let's be real. Do we want Ice Inferno back in?
I think you do. This is the roster that Vitalize has been playing with. It's what they're most comfortable with. And Ice Inferno hasn't been playing bad. Ice Inferno I think has been a really good flex support for this team so far.
He has. And we will see Matson coming in for Arrow as we go to Nepal. Matson kind of definitely
the control specialist, I guess.
Yes, this especially having played Symmetra on the last 2 Lijiang maps. And looking pretty good. Going to Busan.
It is looking extremely good. I mean, honestly, Vitalize, when they needed it most, really put it together there on Anubis B. Was a super impressive defensive hold. Of course, now they have to win this Nepal control map. Once again, I have to just say this again because of how big the stakes are. If Vitalize are able to win this, that's it. They secure the 6th spot at least in the final standings and a playoff spot. And that is, I mean, that's just about as big as it gets.
Oh my God. And you have probably the biggest momentum you could have in Overwatch right now. You just stopped a 5.5 minute time bank from getting 30%, let alone the 73 they needed to win that map. So you're on a high right now. That could be the tipping point for this map. Oh my, we've got a map 5, and it's going to be one to watch. Don't go anywhere as we're just getting everything set up for this map. Oh my gosh. Vitalize are ready. Production is ready. We are just waiting on the ready for Mortal Wombats. Oh my gosh. And it seems like Mortal Wombats are ready. Into Nepal we go in just a second. Both teams are ready. Production is ready. Let's get to this map 5. I want to get going. This is... Oh.
I mean, it's about as crazy as it gets.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And as Akri reminded us, Vitalize's reverse sweep against Wait What back in Season 2 happened on Nepal. They finished it out on Nepal. So, this is familiar territory for this team name, for this kind of organization. There's no real organizations in League Zero, but for the name. Jolt was there. This is going to be one of the biggest games we have before playoffs. One of the biggest points we have. One of the biggest single maps.
It comes down to the biggest map in the Vitalize / Thought Police season so far. It is going to come down to if they can pull it out on Nepal. They pulled it out on Lijiang right before this. So their ability to come together on Control should not be doubted. But, oh man, if Vitalize can pull this off and secure themselves a playoff spot right now, I think everyone else who has to face them should be scared. As both teams now coming out, we see Knocked on the Wrecking Ball, but Ant is going to be on the Orisa. The mobility of the Wrecking Ball versus the sturdiness of the Orisa. Who's going to come out on top here?
Well, Reborn was on that Symmetra, so we will see Mortal Wombats actually be able to push in a bit quicker. But with Vitalize getting 4-man anti, I completely just ignore what I was saying. Noct goes in and dies.
Yeah.
4-man anti and Noct dies. Matson is next. And this brings a question up of why is Matson in here if he's not going to play Symmetra? He seems to be a very good Symmetra player.
Well, I think he's just the control specialist. He played a lot of Symmetra in the first map, but I think he's just who they put in on control maps because they trust him to pop off in that game mode. Didn't necessarily have to be a Symmetra specialist. But honestly, what came it down to it there was Knocked. Just kind of rolling in, getting stunned up, and taken out. Doesn't matter how good the anti-nade is if there's nothing to follow up on it. And Knocked goes down first again. This ball just isn't working out right now.
No, he rolled through the team once again, but the entirety of Vitalize just ignored him, really. They said, great, you can roll through the team, deal a little bit of damage, we'll just take down the rest of your team. And we will see Knocked switch over to this Orisa. And Matson switch over to McCree as Reborn. This is an entire change. Reborn's on Hanzo now. Donger's switching over to the Baptiste, even though he had Nano.
We're seeing pretty much a full change to mirror the mirror Vitalize now, except we're going to be seeing a Hanzo come out from Reborn instead of Jolt's Soldier, and Avalantis takes off the head of Matson. Oh, this is looking so bad. They're just getting poked out before they can even set up.
Vitalize are completely on a high here. Just so much poke damage, so much just damage coming through, and such good 2-taps. Why is Avalantis this far forward? Maybe getting a little cocky there, but has his Sigma to back him up. We'll be able to get out of that alive. Tried to one-clip someone, as we will see Ant now using the bongos to damage. Big flux, but again, just lands into the Immortality field, and the Ice Inferno is really the only one who took a lot of damage from that. Another flux coming out from Remy, doesn't hit anyone. It's 99%, and they're forced into a wall. Mortal Wombats are the one who are kind of in control of the point, but they can't even touch it.
Oh my goodness, that was a masterful display of double shield coming out from Vitalize there. My goodness, we are seeing what could be Vitalize cementing their spot in our playoffs. They just have to put together one more round. The unfortunate part, though, is that sub-map is the one that is most suited to those double shield comps. These ones that are coming up, though, lend themselves a lot better to that brawl comp that Mortal Wombat has loved playing this whole time. They're going to have to win one of these rounds in order to win the map and the series.
Well, they're gonna have to win both of these rounds in order to win the map and the
Well,
series.
no, they just need one because they won the first one.
No. Vitalize needs one. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I meant.
Anyways, Vitalize Avalantis back on this Pharah that we saw work pretty well on Temple of Anubis. Going to see how much value they can get out of that. But now there is the Reinhardt and the Diva on the opposing side that there wasn't when he was playing on Anubis. And that Diva is going to be exactly what takes him down in this early fight, as Ant unable to kind of stall out this point, unable to disrupt the rest of Mortal Wombat, who have cemented themselves on the point with this Reinhardt, with this Mei, with this Symmetra.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough now for Vitalize because they are in the uncomfortable position of having to poke into this extremely sturdy comp that has taken it up. But, oh no, Noct has been caught out.
Noct was caught out by Ant. Ant and Remy working together excellently to get that catch out. But with Jolt falling, it's going to be quite a bit of work to do. Here comes the Blizzard from Reborn, not only to freeze up the opponents, but also to clear out that minefield. A sideways Justice from Avalantis won't result in anything, and Vitalize have to go back as Wami gets a double fire strike kill onto the supports.
Now is a pretty decent opportunity coming up from Vitalize to try and take this back. They have both support ultimates online. Remy will have the bomb online pretty soon as well. That nano boost, though, is going to be key. Do you use it on Ant as he tries to go in? Do you try and just supercharge Avalantis, who's probably the biggest DPS threat from your team right now? I'm not sure, but you're going to be playing into the wall and the shatter.
It's on Avalantis. It might have been better on Jolt, because he already goes in and punches Sly, and Avalantis is dead. Shatter coming out from Rami, hits nobody. Jolt frozen up, finally dead as Avalantis gets resurrected, and Remy's bomb is huge, getting both DPS on the side of Mortal Wombat. With Sly, the only one left. Vitalize, retake the point.
92% though for Mortal Wombat here. One more good fight will send us to a map 3. And honestly, the Reborn swaps over to the Sombra. I think they're probably betting, if all else fails, that they can win off of this final EMP.
And they
this
very
fight,
much
it probably won't happen because you have the mines and the barrage and the meteor strike coming up.
And you got 5-man anti too. That will kind of rain on your parade.
Yeah.
Noct uses the self-destruct anyways. Does get back in mech, but is just gonna get stalled out here.
Yeah, why would you use the self-destruct there, honestly? Your team is dead. You just fed 600 health worth of ult charge to the other team. That's so not worth it.
No, and
50% now, though. This was one fight. This was one fight, and 50% coming up for Vitalize. Honestly, if they don't get it done in this fight, they're going to be forced in a very uncomfortable position where they're going to have to rush back to point. They honestly have to get it done here.
Little's hacked. That could be all you need. Reborn's at 70%. Jolt will be able to get down one of the supports from the side of Mortal Wombat. And with a shatter of some kind coming out, it was Ant's, I believe it was Remy's self-destruct actually. Remy's not able to get back in the mech. And that's it. Vitalize. Looks like they'll take map 2. Mortal Wombat looks like they'll take round 2 of Nepal. Remy's able to get back in mech. So this fight's not over as both tanks and the Doofus are here for Vitalize.
The beat, though, is up from Sly. It's going to keep them all super healthy as they try and finish out this point. The bomb from Noct is there to keep everyone away. And that's going to do it. We're going to Shrine, and that is what is going to decide this whole thing.
Will it be Mortal Wombats completing what realistically everyone thought should have been a decently easy win for them, or will it be Vitalize coming back from what has been a less than stellar season, taking down one of our top contenders?
Yeah, very much a top contender, a very strong team. And they're going to be going back to their tried and true. If you want to beat Mortal Wombat, you have to beat them on this comp. Of course, a huge clash of styles here, though, coming out from Vitalize. The Ball Diva composition, the Brig, and the Ana. That is what they're going to put their playoff hopes on right now. Can it beat this sturdy brawl of Mortal Wombat?
Well, you already run into an issue. Matson staying on the Symmetra there, getting there first. As Jolt did, one of the DPSs for Vitalize was on that Symmetra real quickly just to teleport everyone out, but it still doesn't work to get them on the point fast enough. Already entrenched is Mortal Wombats, and Matson will take an easy pick off on the Jolt.
Yeah, this is the exact same as Village right now. We have Mortal Wombat who are on this Brawl comp getting onto the point first, and anyone who tries to get them, as we saw with Jolt right there, just gets eliminated instantly. I mean, you look at the ult charges, you see a decent amount for Ice Inferno, but other than that, no one really has anything going on. And that just shows how little Vitalize was able to get done in that first fight.
And that will actually prompt them to switch Jolt over from the Doomfist to the Pharah. And this is a little bit interesting as we see not Avalantis on the Pharah, but Jolt this time.
It's not bad, though. There isn't any one character that can really hard counter Pharah here. It just kind of comes down to trying to line of sight her rockets.
Exactly. Ant is nanoed from Ice Inferno, going to survive for a bit, but unable to stay alive too long. He's able to get some damage down, as Jolt will also try to just rain in some rockets. Does end up helping to take down True Donger.
Yeah, True Donger is down, so there actually is a bit of an opening here if Vitalize want to take it, and they might have to. 65% and counting for this team. There's one more good fight that they have to try and take this point back. If they cannot break this brawl, then that is going to be it, and Mortal Wombat are going to be taking the win right here, right now.
Alright, look out for a flank from this McCree on Avalantis. He's got High Noon. He wants to use it. He gets spotted out, unable to get this flank done, but it might work. Jolt with a lot of damage from that barrage, and Avalantis High Noon does get Rami. Jolt is dead, though, so is Little from that Diva Bomb from Noct, but I think Vitalize will be able to take this point. They just got one or two left to
Blizzard,
clear.
though.
Oh no. Blizzard Reborn dies in it, but able to kill Ant, and Remy's out of mech now.
It's just Noct. It's just Noct. There's no way, right?
Nope, they're coming back. They come back. Rami is back, so is Donger. Donger's dead, never mind. Sly is too, and now it's done. Maybe. Reborn's on Doomfist. Matson's on Soldier. Matson's running away. Now it's done.
Oh no, Ice Inferno uses the nano boost on Avalantis, but there was no one left to get the value on. That is a wasted ultimate coming out, and that is not what you want to see when you have to have a perfect defense now in order to win this map. You cannot lose another fight or else this is over.
Alright, and perfect defense is what we are looking for. Ant's minefield dropped pretty well. This bomb from the Diva as well. Remy unable to get so much. Jolt builds up the barrage in that fight, and Avalantis will have High Noon next fight as he just clears out the rest of Mortal Wombat.
Yeah, now that the Mortal Wombat Brawl comp has lost control at this point, you start seeing them have a lot of trouble dealing with this poke. You want to use your Lucio speed boost to run your Reinhardt into the enemy team and just overwhelm them with close range. The question is, who on this comp do you run at? Everyone can either get away really fast or have the ability to, well, you know what? They're just dying, so never mind.
I was about to say, apparently you run at Jolt because he's dead and Ant is next. Jolt will come back up. Ice Inferno and Little are so low, though. Your support is almost gone. Remy able to stay alive just a little bit longer. Ice Inferno's caught out alone. Jolt, you have to be the hero your team needs. You are unable to be 4-on-1. Ant surviving is hacked now.
There's a shot.
Little might be the hero. Little might be the hero in this fight, and this will bring it to to the last fight of this match as well. It's at 90%. Avalantis able to take down the supports. It was never swapped, so it's all been counting. Sly's dead. Ice Inferno came back on the Mora. 98%. No one can touch.
That's
Vitalize win.
Vitalize win after one of the craziest final fights I think I've seen. They pull it out in map 5, round 3, 99% to 99%, and Vitalize have just punched themselves a ticket to the playoffs.
Give your supports to play here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Little
Your
comes up.
supports pull in huge at the end of that map.
Little comes up clutch when his team needs him most, coming up with 2 massive kills, just running in on the Lucio. And that is what ends up turning the final fight in favor of Vitalize. Congratulations. Once again, feels like every time I cast, it's a team that is just rebuilt, and no one's really thinking there's going to be too much from them going in. And then they end up pulling out a win against a very respected team. So Vitalize getting their second win on the board, and with the map differential that they have, I do believe that will guarantee them the sixth playoff spot. Wombat could not get it done in the end. Their brawl wall shatters.
All right, and as we try to recover a little bit from that last match, we're going to send it to a break. We will be right back in just a minute. Do not go anywhere. We're going to interview one of the players of Vitalize when we come back.
Bye.
All right, we're back. Vitalize 3-2 against Mortal Wombats. A completely restructured team coming out of nowhere to just take down one of the top contenders in Intermediate this season. And joining us for the post-game interview is Remy. Welcome, Remy.
Thank you.
So, how chaotic was the entire, I guess, calling, the entire leadership, calling, coaching, whatever from inside the voice chat during this game?
It was kind of all over the place. We had 0 scrims with our full lineup. I had never played with Ant before. Like, it's the first time I ever play with him. Like as
Oh, wow.
tank. It's like we actually have like no practice. We had never played like Tempo, I'm pretty sure. Like we had never played that map before. We had never played Double Shield before. So like our comms are still not great, you know? We don't like fight plan that well. We don't old plan that well. Because like we're still a new team, we're still getting used to each other. But like somehow it worked out. So
All right.
Yeah.
Did you realistically think you were going to take this? Did you realistically think Vitalize were going to end up beating Mortal Wombats when you came into it?
I mean, before today, I was like doubting our chances, right? But then in our warm up, for some reason we played really well. Even like when we like barely even played with each other, we were doing super well against like good players. And then I was like, okay, we actually have a chance. And then after map 1, I was like, okay, we can actually win this.
I do have to ask, because this is an interesting situation that Vitalize is in, because they took over from Thought Police, they got rid of a bunch of people, they added a bunch of people back in, basically a full team rebuild. I just want to know, like, from your perspective, coming from Capitalism to Vitalize now, what is your opinion? How's the team environment going? You know, are things going well? This is me asking as an admin, more like.
Yeah. It's great. Like if you compare this team to Capitalism, like this team talks a lot more than Capitalism. Capitalism is a very quiet team. This team, like, there's no second that there's no one talking, you know? Like, there's always someone talking. Like, even without playing with each other, there's always, like, someone saying something. Even if it's not really useful, it's, like, a very different environment to Capitalism.
All right. I gotta ask. Better support. Iced Inferno or Hypnotist?
I gotta give it to Hypnotos, you know? Come in with a clutch on Anubis without anyone expecting it to. Little couldn't play BAP, so Hypnotos came in and played BAP, and it worked out somehow. I don't know. I don't even know how Anubis worked. Like the 5-minute hold on second. I don't know what was happening. We were just winning the fights, and we were just like a mess. Like we weren't fight planning. We weren't doing anything properly, but it just worked. So I think that's a Hypnotos diff. I think that's just personal. No, but Ice Inferno is also really good. He got some big nades.
He did get some crazy nades. I do want to ask you, after playing against Mortal Wombat for 5 maps now, if you had to pick out one player from their team that was giving you the most trouble, the biggest thorn in your side, who would you say it was?
It'd have to be. I think. Who was their hit scan? No, Matson. The other one. Aro. Yeah, he's good. Like,
I mean, I was about to say Bob. So
that a little bit too.
We were struggling, but like we picked it up. So that's fine.
That you did. Do you have anything to say to the stream? Anything to say, like shout out to or anything?
No.
I do want to
Didn't think
say
about this.
I've been saying in cast the whole time that if you win, you just guarantee yourself a spot in playoffs. I'm not fully sure if that's true anymore. So my bad if that wasn't true throughout this entire thing, and it's not fully guaranteed. But I will say you've put yourself in a fantastic position. No matter if you have it or not, Vitalize is very much in control of their own destiny. So, beautiful job, guys. Great win to you and to the rest of the Vitalize squad.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else to say, Volcanor?
Not really. That's pretty much gonna wrap up most of this game.
Yeah, congratulations once again to Vitalize for pulling out the 3-2 upset over Mortal Wombat today. I've been dividing. I've been their color caster today. Volcanor has been on the play-by-play, and we have our wonderful Acri on the production today. We appreciate it. We'll try and send you all over to the other League Zero channel where an advanced level game is currently in progress. So be sure to tune in, cheer on those teams as they fight for their own positioning. And yeah, that's going to do it for us here. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Don't get to.
Thank you.